In a serene valley surrounded by mist-covered mountains, a group of monks lived in a monastery renowned for its tranquility and wisdom. Yet, among them was a young monk named Kai, who struggled with a heavy burden that seemed to weigh down his every step. This burden was not physical but emotional, and it stemmed from his inability to let go of past grievances and regrets. Despite the peaceful environment, Kai found himself trapped in a loop of negative thoughts and unresolved issues, unable to embrace the present moment. One morning, as the sun rose and bathed the valley in a golden glow, the Zen master, Master Hoshin, gathered the monks for a lesson. With a calm demeanor and a voice that resonated with deep wisdom, Master Hoshin began speaking about the concept of letting go. He explained that true peace and enlightenment could only be achieved when one learned to release the attachments and burdens that clung to the mind and spirit. The young monk Kai listened intently, his heart aching with the realization that his own struggles were being addressed. Master Hoshin spoke of how clinging to past hurts and regrets only served to hold one back from experiencing the fullness of life. He likened it to carrying a heavy sack filled with stones, each stone representing a past grievance or regret. The weight of the sack made every step arduous and hindered one's ability to move forward freely. Master Hoshin then shared a story that had been passed down through generations of monks. It was about a wise old monk who had once been deeply hurt by a fellow monk's betrayal. Instead of allowing the betrayal to consume him, the wise monk chose to let go of his anger and resentment. He realized that holding on to these negative emotions was only harming himself, not the person who had wronged him. By letting go, the monk found a profound sense of liberation and peace that transformed his life. As the story unfolded, Kai felt a shift within himself. He began to understand that his own burdens were self-imposed and that by holding on to them, he was only perpetuating his own suffering. The Zen master's words were like a gentle breeze, rustling through the leaves of Kai's heart and awakening a desire to release the heavy sack he had been carrying. The lesson that day was not just theoretical but practical. Master Hoshin guided the monks through a meditation exercise designed to help them visualize letting go of their burdens. The monks sat in a circle, their eyes closed, and focused on their breath. Master Hoshin instructed them to imagine their burdens as physical objects that they were gently placing down, one by one. The process was meant to symbolize the act of releasing negative thoughts and emotions, allowing space for inner peace and clarity. For Kai, this meditation was a turning point. As he visualized setting down each stone from his heavy sack, he felt a sense of lightness and relief that he had not experienced in a long time. The weight that had been holding him back began to lift, and he felt more connected to the present moment. The Zen master's teachings were clear. Letting go was not about forgetting or dismissing the past, but about freeing oneself from its emotional hold. By acknowledging and then releasing past hurts, one could create a space for new experiences and deeper connections in the present. It was a process of healing and transformation that required patience and practice. As the sun set over the valley, casting long shadows across the monastery, Kai reflected on the day's lesson. The concept of letting go began to resonate deeply within him. He realized that this practice was not a one-time event but an ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth. Each day presented an opportunity to release the burdens of the past and embrace the present with a renewed sense of clarity and purpose. Before retiring for the evening, Master Hoshin gathered the monks once more. He encouraged them to continue their practice of letting go and to support one another on this path. The sense of camaraderie and shared purpose strengthened the bond among the monks, creating a supportive community where each individual's journey was valued and respected. Kai went to bed that night with a newfound sense of hope and determination. He understood that letting go was not about erasing the past but about finding freedom from its emotional weight. With this understanding, he looked forward to the days ahead with a heart that was lighter and more open to the possibilities of the present. The journey of letting go had just begun for Kai, and he was eager to continue exploring its depths. The teachings of Master Hoshin had set him on a path of self-discovery and inner peace, and he was committed to walking this path with mindfulness and intention. As the stars twinkled in the night sky, Kai felt a sense of gratitude for the wisdom imparted by his Zen master. He was ready to face the challenges ahead with a renewed spirit, knowing that the power of letting go would guide him towards a more peaceful and fulfilling life. The morning dew still clung to the blades of grass as the monks gathered for their daily practice. The peaceful rhythm of their breaths and the soft rustling of leaves created a serene backdrop for the day's lesson. Master Hoshin, with his usual composed demeanor, began the session with a focus on a crucial aspect of letting go: acceptance. Master Hoshin spoke about the importance of accepting things as they are, rather than as we wish them to be. He explained that acceptance is a fundamental part of the letting go process. To truly release the burdens of the past, one must first accept the reality of their situation without resistance or denial. This acceptance, he said, was not about passivity but about recognizing and embracing the present moment with clarity and openness. The Zen master shared another story with the monks, one that illustrated the concept of acceptance vividly. The story was about a young monk named Haru, who had been deeply troubled by a series of unfortunate events in his life. Despite his diligent efforts to improve his circumstances, nothing seemed to change. Frustrated and disheartened, Haru sought guidance from an elderly Zen master. The elderly master listened patiently to Haru's troubles and then handed him a small, delicate flower. He instructed Haru to carry the flower with him throughout the day without letting it fall or wither. Haru, eager to prove his commitment, accepted the challenge and carefully cradled the flower as he went about his day. By evening, Haru returned to the master, exhausted and disheveled, but the flower was still intact. The master then asked Haru to reflect on his experience. Haru realized that his constant focus on protecting the fragile flower had caused him to miss many of the day's simple pleasures. He had been so preoccupied with the flower's well-being that he had not allowed himself to fully engage with the present moment. The elderly master then explained that life, much like the delicate flower, is fragile and unpredictable. Attempting to control every aspect of it, or clinging to how we wish things to be, only leads to frustration and suffering. True acceptance involves recognizing the impermanence and unpredictability of life and finding peace within it. This story resonated deeply with Kai, who had been struggling with accepting the realities of his own life. He had been resisting certain aspects of his past, hoping that by clinging to his grievances, he could somehow change the outcome. Master Hoshin's lesson on acceptance offered Kai a new perspective, that letting go required more than just releasing the emotional burden. It also involved accepting the past as it was. To practice acceptance, Master Hoshin guided the monks through a series of mindful exercises. The monks sat in a circle, focusing on their breath and observing their thoughts without judgment. They were encouraged to let go of their expectations and accept whatever thoughts or feelings arose, simply acknowledging them and allowing them to pass without attachment. As Kai engaged in these exercises, he noticed a subtle shift within himself. The resistance he had felt toward accepting certain aspects of his life began to dissolve. By practicing acceptance, he found a sense of calm and clarity that had previously eluded him. The exercise taught him that acceptance did not mean resignation but rather a compassionate acknowledgement of reality as it was. The Zen master's teachings emphasized that acceptance was a dynamic process, one that required ongoing attention and practice. It was not about passively accepting unfavorable circumstances, but about engaging with life's challenges with a balanced and open heart. By embracing acceptance, one could find the strength to move forward with greater ease and resilience. As the day progressed, the monks continued their practice of acceptance through various tasks and interactions. They approached each task with a sense of mindfulness, allowing themselves to fully engage with the present moment without being hindered by past regrets or future anxieties. The simple act of accepting things as they were allowed the monks to experience a deeper sense of peace and contentment. The setting sun cast a warm glow over the monastery, and Kai felt a profound sense of gratitude for the day's teachings. He realized that acceptance was a key component of letting go and that by embracing it, he could navigate the challenges of life with greater ease. The practice of acceptance had opened a new path for him, one that promised greater peace and fulfillment. As the monks gathered for their evening meditation, Master Hoshin reminded them of the importance of integrating acceptance into their daily lives. He encouraged them to continue exploring this practice, both on and off the meditation cushion, and to support one another in their journey toward greater understanding and peace. Kai went to bed that night with a renewed sense of purpose. He understood that letting go involved not just releasing past grievances but also accepting the present moment with all its imperfections. With this new insight, he felt better equipped to face the days ahead, embracing each moment with a heart that was open and accepting. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting its warm light across the monastery, the monks gathered once again for their daily session with Master Hoshin. Today's focus was on a powerful and often challenging aspect of letting go: forgiveness. Master Hoshin knew that for many, the path to peace and liberation involved not just releasing their own burdens, but also forgiving others who had caused them pain. Master Hoshin began by sharing a poignant story about a young monk named Ren, who had been deeply wronged by a close friend. The friend had betrayed Ren's trust in a way that left him feeling hurt and abandoned. Despite the passage of time, Ren could not bring himself to forgive his friend, holding on to his anger and resentment with a tight grip. This emotional weight was preventing him from finding peace and moving forward. One day, Ren sought guidance from a venerable Zen master who lived in a remote mountain hermitage. The Zen master listened to Ren's story with empathy and then gave him a simple yet profound task: to walk up a steep, winding path carrying a heavy stone in a basket. Ren accepted the challenge, determined to prove his resolve. With each step, the stone grew heavier, and Ren struggled to keep moving. By the time he reached the top of the path, he was exhausted and worn out. The Zen master then asked Ren to reflect on the experience. Ren realized that carrying the heavy stone had only made his journey more difficult, and that the weight was a direct result of his own unwillingness to let go of his anger. The Zen master explained that holding on to grudges and refusing to forgive others was akin to carrying a heavy burden that only served to hinder one's own path. Forgiveness, he said, was not about condoning the wrongs done to us but about freeing ourselves from the chains of resentment that bind us. By forgiving others, we release ourselves from the emotional weight that prevents us from experiencing true peace. The story left a deep impression on Kai, who had been grappling with his own issues of forgiveness. He realized that his inability to forgive others was causing him unnecessary suffering and keeping him stuck in the past. Master Hoshin's teachings on forgiveness offered a new perspective: that by letting go of anger and resentment, he could open the door to healing and transformation. To help the monks practice forgiveness, Master Hoshin led them through a series of reflective exercises. The monks were encouraged to think about individuals who had wronged them and to explore their feelings of anger and hurt. With mindfulness and compassion, they were guided to write letters to these individuals. Letters that they would not necessarily send but that would allow them to express and release their emotions. Kai took part in this exercise with an open heart, pouring out his feelings onto paper. As he wrote, he felt a gradual shift within himself. The act of expressing his emotions helped him confront and process his feelings, and he began to see the situation from a new perspective. By acknowledging his pain and choosing to forgive, he felt a sense of relief and liberation that was both profound and transformative. The Zen master's teachings emphasized that forgiveness was a gift we give ourselves. It was not about excusing the behavior of others, but about reclaiming our own peace and well-being. Through forgiveness, we break free from the cycle of resentment and allow ourselves to heal and grow. As the day drew to a close, the monks gathered for their evening meditation, reflecting on the lessons learned about forgiveness. Master Hoshin encouraged them to continue practicing forgiveness in their daily lives, both towards others and themselves. He reminded them that forgiveness was an ongoing process, one that required patience, compassion, and self-awareness. Kai went to bed that night with a sense of lightness and clarity. The teachings on forgiveness had opened a new path for him, one that promised greater freedom from the burdens of the past. He understood that by embracing forgiveness, he could create space for healing and growth in his life. The journey of forgiveness was just beginning for Kai, and he felt a renewed sense of purpose as he moved forward. With each step, he was committed to releasing the emotional weight that had been holding him back and embracing the transformative power of letting go. As the early morning mist began to lift, revealing the lush landscape surrounding the monastery, the monks assembled for their day's practice. Today's focus was on the concept of surrender, a profound aspect of letting go that involved yielding to the flow of life rather than resisting it. Master Hoshin knew that understanding and embracing surrender was crucial for those seeking true inner peace. Master Hoshin began the lesson with a story about a skilled archer named Taro. Taro was known for his extraordinary ability to hit targets with precision and grace. However, despite his skill, he was plagued by a constant sense of frustration and inadequacy. No matter how much he practiced, he felt that his achievements were never enough, and he struggled with a deep-seated fear of failure. One day, Taro met a revered Zen master who saw through his troubled heart. The master told Taro that his struggle was not with his skill but with his attachment to outcomes. He challenged Taro to an exercise, to shoot an arrow while fully embracing the concept of surrender. The master instructed Taro to focus not on the target but on his own state of mind, letting go of all expectations and fears. Taro accepted the challenge and approached the archery range with a new mindset. As he drew his bow and released the arrow, he did so with a sense of complete surrender, allowing the moment to unfold naturally without interference from his ego or anxieties. To his astonishment, the arrow hit the bullseye with an effortless precision he had never experienced before. The Zen master explained that Taro's success came not from striving harder, but from letting go of his need for control and embracing the flow of the moment. By surrendering his expectations and fears, Taro was able to perform at his best and find true freedom in his practice. This story resonated deeply with Kai, who had been struggling with a similar sense of frustration and attachment. He realized that his constant striving for control and fear of failure were hindering his progress and causing unnecessary stress. Master Hoshin's teachings on surrender offered Kai a new perspective on how to approach life with greater ease and acceptance. To help the monks practice the art of surrender, Master Hoshin led them through a series of meditative exercises. The monks were guided to focus on their breath and to visualize themselves letting go of their attachments and desires. They were encouraged to imagine surrendering their need for control and allowing life to unfold naturally. As Kai engaged in these exercises, he experienced a profound shift in his mindset. The practice of surrender allowed him to release his grip on expectations and fears, and he began to feel a sense of liberation and peace. He understood that surrendering was not about giving up, but about finding harmony with the flow of life. The Zen master's teachings emphasized that surrender was a dynamic and empowering practice. It involved trusting in the natural course of events and embracing uncertainty with an open heart. By surrendering to the present moment, one could experience a deeper sense of connection and freedom. Throughout the day, the monks continued to explore the practice of surrender in their daily activities. They approached each task with a sense of mindfulness, allowing themselves to be fully present without being overwhelmed by the need for control or perfection. The practice of surrender helped them navigate their responsibilities with greater ease and grace. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the monastery, Kai reflected on the day's teachings. He realized that the practice of surrender had opened a new path for him, one that promised greater peace and fulfillment. By embracing surrender, he could navigate the challenges of life with a sense of freedom and clarity. The evening meditation was a time for the monks to integrate the lessons of surrender into their practice. Master Hoshin encouraged them to continue exploring this concept and to support one another in their journey towards greater understanding and acceptance. Kai went to bed that night with a renewed sense of purpose and liberation. The teachings on surrender had provided him with valuable insights into how to approach life with greater ease and openness. He understood that by letting go of the need for control and embracing the flow of life, he could find a deeper sense of peace and freedom. The journey of surrender was just beginning for Kai, and he felt a renewed sense of commitment as he moved forward. With each step, he was dedicated to embracing the practice of surrender and finding greater harmony with the natural flow of life. As dawn broke and the first light of day touched the monastery's tranquil grounds, the monks gathered for their morning practice. Master Hoshin had chosen a profound topic for today's lesson: impermanence. Understanding and embracing the transient nature of life was crucial for those seeking to let go and find inner peace. Master Hoshin began with a story about a revered monk named Shiro, who lived in a remote village. Shiro was known for his wisdom and serenity, qualities that attracted many people seeking his guidance. One day, a terrible storm ravaged the village, destroying homes and causing widespread devastation. Shiro's own modest dwelling was also severely damaged. Despite the loss, Shiro remained calm and composed. He gathered the villagers and shared a simple yet profound insight. Everything in life is impermanent. Just as this storm has passed, so too will our hardships. By accepting impermanence, we free ourselves from the pain of clinging to things that are destined to change. The villagers were initially bewildered by Shiro's attitude, but his words began to sink in as they rebuilt their lives. Over time, they came to understand that by accepting the transient nature of their circumstances, they could navigate their challenges with greater ease and resilience. Shiro's wisdom helped them see that impermanence was not something to be feared but embraced as a natural part of life. This story deeply resonated with Kai, who had been struggling with the fear of change and loss. He realized that his resistance to impermanence was causing him unnecessary suffering and hindering his ability to let go. Master Hoshin's teachings on impermanence offered a new perspective, that by accepting the ever-changing nature of life, he could find greater peace and flexibility. To help the monks explore the concept of impermanence, Master Hoshin led them through a series of contemplative exercises. The monks were invited to meditate on the changing nature of their thoughts, emotions, and experiences. They were encouraged to observe these changes without attachment or resistance, allowing themselves to fully embrace the fluidity of their inner world. As Kai participated in these exercises, he began to experience a shift in his perception. The practice of observing his thoughts and emotions as transient allowed him to release his grip on fixed expectations and judgments. He started to understand that change was an inherent part of life, and that by accepting it, he could cultivate a sense of calm and adaptability. The Zen master's teachings emphasized that impermanence was not merely a philosophical concept but a practical tool for living with greater ease. By embracing the reality of change, one could navigate life's ups and downs with greater resilience and openness. Impermanence was a reminder that no matter how difficult a situation may seem, it is bound to shift and evolve. Throughout the day, the monks continued to practice the wisdom of impermanence in their daily activities. They approached each task with a sense of mindfulness, recognizing that everything was in a state of flux. This awareness allowed them to let go of rigid expectations and embrace the present moment with greater flexibility and acceptance. As the sun set and the sky was painted with hues of orange and pink, Kai reflected on the day's teachings. He realized that the wisdom of impermanence had opened a new path for him, one that promised greater freedom from the constraints of attachment and resistance. By accepting the transient nature of life, he could navigate his experiences with greater ease and grace. The evening meditation provided an opportunity for the monks to integrate the teachings on impermanence into their practice. Master Hoshin encouraged them to continue exploring this concept and to support one another in their journey towards greater understanding and acceptance. Kai went to bed that night with a sense of peace and clarity. The insights on impermanence had provided him with valuable tools for embracing change and finding stability amidst life's uncertainties. He understood that by accepting the transient nature of his experiences, he could cultivate a deeper sense of resilience and freedom. The journey of embracing impermanence was just beginning for Kai, and he felt a renewed sense of commitment as he moved forward. With each step, he was dedicated to integrating the wisdom of impermanence into his life and finding greater harmony with the ever-changing flow of existence. As the morning mist gently lifted from the monastery grounds, the monks assembled for their daily practice. Master Hoshin had chosen a topic of great importance: the power of mindful presence. Understanding how to be fully present in each moment was a key aspect of letting go and finding true peace. Master Hoshin began by recounting a story about a young monk named Kaido. Kaido was known for his diligence and dedication, but struggled with constant distractions. He found it difficult to focus on his tasks and was often preoccupied with worries about the future or regrets from the past. His inability to stay present was causing him stress and preventing him from fully experiencing the richness of life. One day, Kaido met an elderly Zen master who noticed his restless demeanor. The master invited Kaido to spend a day with him in silence, performing simple tasks such as gardening and preparing tea. Kaido was initially skeptical but agreed to the challenge. Throughout the day, the Zen master demonstrated the art of mindful presence. As they worked in the garden, the master paid careful attention to every detail: the feel of the soil, the sound of the water, the smell of the earth. Each action was performed with complete awareness and intentionality. Kaido observed the master's practice and began to understand the importance of being fully present in each moment. As they prepared tea, the Zen master guided Kaido through the process with mindfulness. He encouraged Kaido to focus on the warmth of the tea kettle, the aroma of the tea leaves, and the gentle pour of the water. Through this practice, Kaido began to experience a sense of tranquility and connection with the present moment. By the end of the day, Kaido felt a profound shift within himself. The practice of mindful presence had allowed him to let go of his distractions and immerse himself fully in each activity. He realized that by being present, he could experience life more deeply and with greater clarity. Master Hoshin's story resonated with Kai, who had been struggling with similar issues of distraction and anxiety. He realized that his inability to be present was causing him unnecessary stress and preventing him from fully enjoying his experiences. Master Hoshin's teachings on mindful presence offered him a new perspective, that by focusing on the present moment, he could find greater peace and fulfillment. To help the monks cultivate mindful presence, Master Hoshin led them through a series of practices. The monks were encouraged to engage in daily activities with full awareness, whether it was eating, walking, or simply breathing. They were guided to observe their thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing themselves to fully experience each moment as it unfolded. As Kai participated in these practices, he began to notice a significant change in his outlook. By focusing on the present moment, he was able to release his worries and regrets and experience a deeper sense of connection with his surroundings. The practice of mindful presence allowed him to approach each task with greater intention and clarity. The Zen master's teachings emphasized that mindful presence was not just a practice but a way of living. By cultivating awareness and attention in each moment, one could find greater joy and satisfaction in life. Mindfulness was a tool for letting go of distractions and embracing the richness of the present. Throughout the day, the monks continued to explore the practice of mindful presence in their activities. They approached each task with a renewed sense of purpose and attentiveness, allowing themselves to fully engage with their experiences. The practice of mindfulness helped them navigate their responsibilities with greater ease and appreciation. As the sun began to set and the sky was painted with warm hues, Kai reflected on the day's teachings. He realized that the power of mindful presence had opened a new path for him, one that promised greater peace and fulfillment. By embracing the present moment, he could cultivate a deeper sense of connection and joy in his life. The evening meditation was a time for the monks to integrate the teachings on mindful presence into their practice. Master Hoshin encouraged them to continue exploring this concept and to support one another in their journey towards greater awareness and presence. Kai went to bed that night with a sense of calm and clarity. The insights on mindful presence had provided him with valuable tools for navigating his daily life with greater intention and focus. He understood that by embracing the present moment, he could find a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. The journey of mindful presence was just beginning for Kai, and he felt a renewed sense of commitment as he moved forward. With each step, he was dedicated to integrating the practice of mindfulness into his life and finding greater harmony with the present moment. As the sun rose over the tranquil monastery, its rays casting a gentle glow over the landscape, the monks gathered for their morning practice. Master Hoshin had chosen a theme of deep significance for today's lesson: the art of compassionate letting go. Understanding how to release attachments with compassion was essential for cultivating a sense of peace and harmony. Master Hoshin began with a story about a compassionate monk named Akira, who was known for his deep empathy and understanding. Akira had spent years practicing mindfulness and compassion, but he faced a profound challenge when a close friend fell ill. His friend, who had been his confidant and support, was now bedridden and facing a terminal illness. Despite his love and attachment to his friend, Akira knew that holding on to the past or clinging to his friend's presence would only lead to suffering. He sought guidance from a wise Zen master, who taught him the practice of compassionate letting go. The master explained that true compassion involved accepting the impermanence of life and allowing loved ones to move through their own journey without attachment. The Zen master encouraged Akira to focus on the present moment and to offer his friend love and support without clinging to the outcome. He guided Akira to practice gratitude for the time they had shared and to wish his friend peace and comfort as he transitioned from this life. Following the master's advice, Akira spent his remaining time with his friend providing care and solace. He shared stories, offered comfort, and expressed his heartfelt appreciation for their time together. Through this process, Akira found a deep sense of peace and connection. By practicing compassionate letting go, he was able to honor his friend's journey and find solace in the face of loss. This story deeply resonated with Kai, who had been struggling with the concept of letting go in his own life. He realized that true letting go involved more than just releasing attachments. It required a compassionate heart and a willingness to embrace the natural flow of life with grace and understanding. To help the monks practice compassionate letting go, Master Hoshin led them through a series of meditative exercises. The monks were encouraged to reflect on their own attachments and to explore how they could release them with compassion. They were guided to practice forgiveness, both towards themselves and others, and to cultivate a sense of empathy and understanding. As Kai engaged in these exercises, he began to experience a profound shift in his perspective. The practice of compassionate letting go allowed him to release his attachments with a sense of warmth and understanding. He learned to approach his relationships with greater empathy and to honor the natural course of events without clinging to them. The Zen master's teachings emphasized that compassionate letting go was a key aspect of spiritual growth. By releasing attachments with love and understanding, one could cultivate a deeper sense of peace and connection. Compassionate letting go was not about abandoning relationships or dismissing feelings, but about embracing the flow of life with a compassionate heart. Throughout the day, the monks continued to explore the practice of compassionate letting go in their daily activities. They approached their interactions with greater empathy and understanding, allowing themselves to release attachments without judgment or resistance. The practice of compassion helped them navigate their experiences with greater grace and ease. As the sun began to set and the sky was painted with soft colors, Kai reflected on the day's teachings. He realized that the art of compassionate letting go had opened a new path for him, one that promised greater peace and harmony. By embracing his attachments with compassion, he could navigate the challenges of life with greater understanding and acceptance. The evening meditation provided an opportunity for the monks to integrate the teachings on compassionate letting go into their practice. Master Hoshin encouraged them to continue exploring this concept and to support one another in their journey towards greater compassion and understanding. Kai went to bed that night with a sense of tranquility and connection. The insights on compassionate letting go had provided him with valuable tools for approaching his relationships and experiences with greater empathy and grace. He understood that by embracing the art of letting go with compassion, he could find a deeper sense of peace and harmony in his life. The journey of compassionate letting go was just beginning for Kai, and he felt a renewed sense of commitment as he moved forward. With each step, he was dedicated to integrating the practice of compassion into his life and finding greater harmony with the flow of existence. As the first light of morning illuminated the monastery, the monks assembled for their daily practice under Master Hoshin's guidance. Today's focus was on the wisdom of acceptance, a crucial element in the practice of letting go. Master Hoshin believed that true peace and inner freedom came from embracing reality as it is, rather than resisting it. Master Hoshin shared a story about a Zen master named Ryo, renowned for his deep understanding and serene demeanor. Ryo lived in a simple hut at the edge of a village and was often visited by people seeking his wisdom. One day, a severe drought struck the region, causing widespread suffering and hardship. The villagers were distressed, and their crops withered under the relentless sun. Ryo remained calm and composed during this crisis. While the villagers anxiously prayed for rain and sought ways to combat the drought, Ryo sat quietly, observing the unfolding events. The villagers approached him, seeking advice on how to deal with their predicament. They were puzzled by Ryo's calmness in the face of such dire circumstances. Ryo explained that acceptance was not about passively resigning to fate, but about recognizing and embracing reality as it was. He encouraged the villagers to accept the drought as a part of their current experience and to focus on adapting to the situation with grace and resilience. He emphasized that by accepting the reality of their circumstances, they could find inner peace and make better decisions. The Zen master's advice shifted the villagers' perspective. Instead of resisting the drought and becoming overwhelmed by their suffering, they began to focus on practical measures and ways to adapt. They implemented water conservation techniques, shared resources, and supported one another through the difficult times. By embracing the reality of the drought, they found a sense of unity and strength that helped them endure the hardship. This story struck a chord with Kai, who had been struggling with resistance to various aspects of his life. He realized that his reluctance to accept certain situations was causing him unnecessary stress and preventing him from moving forward. Master Hoshin's teachings on acceptance offered him a new perspective, that by embracing reality as it was, he could find greater peace and clarity. To help the monks explore the wisdom of acceptance, Master Hoshin led them through a series of contemplative practices. The monks were encouraged to reflect on areas of their lives where they were resisting reality and to practice accepting those situations with a sense of openness and understanding. They were guided to observe their thoughts and feelings about acceptance without judgment, allowing themselves to fully experience the process. As Kai engaged in these practices, he began to experience a shift in his approach to life. By accepting reality as it was, he found that he could approach his challenges with greater ease and adaptability. The practice of acceptance allowed him to release his resistance and focus on finding practical solutions and embracing the present moment. The Zen master's teachings emphasized that acceptance was not about giving up but about aligning with the flow of life. By accepting reality, one could find a deeper sense of inner peace and harmony. Acceptance was a way of acknowledging the present moment and working with it, rather than struggling against it. Throughout the day, the monks continued to practice the wisdom of acceptance in their activities. They approached their tasks and interactions with a renewed sense of openness and understanding, allowing themselves to adapt to the flow of events with greater ease. The practice of acceptance helped them navigate their experiences with a sense of calm and resilience. As the sun set and the sky was painted with soft shades of twilight, Kai reflected on the day's teachings. He realized that the wisdom of acceptance had opened a new path for him, one that promised greater peace and clarity. By embracing reality as it was, he could navigate his life with greater understanding and adaptability. The evening meditation provided an opportunity for the monks to integrate the teachings on acceptance into their practice. Master Hoshin encouraged them to continue exploring this concept and to support one another in their journey towards greater acceptance and inner peace. Kai went to bed that night with a sense of tranquility and resolution. The insights on acceptance had provided him with valuable tools for approaching his life with greater openness and understanding. He understood that by embracing reality as it was, he could find a deeper sense of peace and harmony in his journey. The journey of acceptance was just beginning for Kai, and he felt a renewed sense of commitment as he moved forward. With each step, he was dedicated to integrating the practice of acceptance into his life and finding greater harmony with the flow of existence. As the first light of dawn painted the monastery with a gentle hue, the monks gathered once again for their morning practice under Master Hoshin's guidance. Today's focus was on embracing change with grace, a vital aspect of the journey of letting go. Master Hoshin believed that accepting and adapting to change was essential for finding peace and moving forward in life. Master Hoshin began the session by sharing a story about a venerable Zen master named Jiro, known for his remarkable ability to navigate life's changes with serenity and wisdom. Jiro lived in a small temple surrounded by lush gardens and was well regarded for his deep insights into the nature of change. One year, a fierce storm ravaged the region, destroying much of Jiro's beloved garden. The once vibrant landscape was reduced to a scene of devastation. The villagers were concerned for Jiro and offered their sympathies, but he responded with remarkable composure. Instead of lamenting the loss, Jiro saw an opportunity to teach an important lesson. Jiro gathered the villagers and shared his perspective on the nature of change. He explained that change was an inherent part of life, and resisting it only led to suffering. Rather than clinging to the past or resisting the present circumstances, Jiro encouraged the villagers to embrace change with an open heart and a willingness to adapt. With the villagers' help, Jiro began the process of rebuilding the garden. He chose new plants and redesigned the layout to reflect the changes brought about by the storm. Through this process, Jiro demonstrated how embracing change could lead to new opportunities and growth. The once devastated garden began to flourish anew, reflecting the beauty and resilience that could emerge from embracing change with grace. This story deeply impacted Kai, who had been grappling with various changes and transitions in his own life. He realized that his resistance to change was causing him unnecessary stress and preventing him from moving forward. Master Hoshin's teachings on embracing change offered him a new perspective, that by accepting and adapting to change, he could find greater peace and growth. To help the monks embrace change with grace, Master Hoshin led them through a series of reflective practices. The monks were encouraged to identify areas of their lives where they were struggling with change and to explore how they could approach those situations with greater acceptance and adaptability. They were guided to practice flexibility and openness in their thoughts and actions, allowing themselves to embrace the flow of life. As Kai engaged in these practices, he began to experience a shift in his approach to change. By embracing change with grace, he found that he could navigate his challenges with greater ease and resilience. The practice of acceptance allowed him to release his resistance and approach new circumstances with a sense of curiosity and possibility. The Zen master's teachings emphasized that embracing change was not about passively accepting everything that came one's way, but about aligning with the natural flow of life. By adapting to change with grace, one could find new opportunities for growth and transformation. Embracing change was a way of acknowledging the impermanence of life and working with it rather than against it. Throughout the day, the monks continued to explore the practice of embracing change with grace in their activities. They approached their tasks and interactions with a renewed sense of openness and adaptability, allowing themselves to flow with the natural rhythm of life. The practice of embracing change helped them navigate their experiences with a sense of calm and resilience. As the sun began to set and the sky was adorned with hues of orange and pink, Kai reflected on the day's teachings. He realized that embracing change with grace had opened a new path for him, one that promised greater peace and growth. By accepting and adapting to change, he could navigate his life with greater understanding and flexibility. The evening meditation provided an opportunity for the monks to integrate the teachings on embracing change into their practice. Master Hoshin encouraged them to continue exploring this concept and to support one another in their journey towards greater adaptability and inner peace. Kai went to bed that night with a sense of acceptance and renewal. The insights on embracing change had provided him with valuable tools for approaching his life with greater grace and resilience. He understood that by embracing change, he could find a deeper sense of peace and harmony in his journey. The journey of embracing change was just beginning for Kai, and he felt a renewed sense of commitment as he moved forward. With each step, he was dedicated to integrating the practice of adaptability into his life and finding greater harmony with the ever-changing flow of existence. As the early morning light filtered through the monastery's windows, the monks gathered for their final practice under Master Hoshin's guidance. Today's focus was on discovering the path to inner freedom, an essential culmination of the journey of letting go. Master Hoshin believed that true freedom came from understanding and releasing the inner constraints that bound the mind and spirit. Master Hoshin began by sharing the story of a renowned Zen master named Kaido, whose life was a testament to the pursuit of inner freedom. Kaido lived a life of simplicity and was known for his profound wisdom and serene demeanor. Despite his outward tranquility, Kaido had faced significant internal struggles throughout his life. In his early years, Kaido had been deeply attached to worldly ambitions and desires. He sought success, recognition, and material wealth, believing that these would bring him fulfillment. However, despite his achievements, he found himself plagued by a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction. The more he attained, the more he felt imprisoned by his own desires and fears. One day, Kaido encountered an old sage who imparted a profound lesson. The sage told him that true freedom was not found in external possessions or achievements, but in the liberation of the mind and spirit from internal constraints. He explained that inner freedom came from letting go of attachments, desires, and fears, and embracing the present moment with openness and acceptance. Inspired by this wisdom, Kaido embarked on a transformative journey. He practiced meditation diligently, reflecting on his attachments and releasing them with a sense of clarity and understanding. He let go of his desire for recognition and material wealth, focusing instead on the richness of the present moment and the simplicity of his own being. Through his practice, Kaido discovered a deep sense of inner freedom. He found that by releasing his attachments and embracing the present moment, he could experience a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. His inner freedom allowed him to navigate life's challenges with grace and serenity, free from the constraints of desire and fear. This story deeply resonated with Kai, who had been struggling with internal constraints and desires of his own. He realized that his pursuit of external validation and material success was causing him inner conflict and dissatisfaction. Master Hoshin's teachings on inner freedom offered him a new perspective. That true liberation came from within, through the process of letting go and embracing the present moment. To help the monks discover their own path to inner freedom, Master Hoshin led them through a series of contemplative exercises. The monks were encouraged to reflect on their own attachments, desires, and fears, and to explore how they could release these constraints to experience greater inner peace. They were guided to practice mindfulness and meditation, focusing on the present moment and allowing themselves to experience a sense of freedom and openness. As Kai engaged in these practices, he began to experience a profound shift in his sense of inner freedom. By letting go of his attachments and desires, he found that he could approach his life with greater clarity and peace. The practice of inner freedom allowed him to navigate his experiences with a sense of liberation and fulfillment, free from the constraints of fear and desire. The Zen master's teachings emphasized that the path to inner freedom was a continuous journey. By releasing internal constraints and embracing the present moment, one could find a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. Inner freedom was not a destination but a process of ongoing self-discovery and growth. Throughout the day, the monks continued to explore the practice of inner freedom in their daily activities. They approached their tasks and interactions with a renewed sense of openness and clarity, allowing themselves to experience a sense of liberation and peace. The practice of inner freedom helped them navigate their lives with greater grace and understanding. As the sun set and the sky was bathed in shades of twilight, Kai reflected on the journey he had undertaken. He realized that the path to inner freedom had opened a new chapter in his life, one that promised greater peace and fulfillment. By embracing the process of letting go and focusing on the present moment, he could find a deeper sense of freedom and harmony. The evening meditation provided an opportunity for the monks to integrate the teachings on inner freedom into their practice. Master Hoshin encouraged them to continue exploring this concept and to support one another in their journey towards greater liberation and inner peace. Kai went to bed that night with a profound sense of contentment and clarity. The insights on inner freedom had provided him with valuable tools for approaching his life with greater openness and fulfillment. He understood that the path to inner freedom was an ongoing journey, one that required continuous practice and self-discovery. The journey of inner freedom was just beginning for Kai, and he felt a renewed sense of purpose as he moved forward. With each step, he was dedicated to integrating the practice of liberation into his life and finding greater harmony with the flow of existence. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven for more stories of wisdom and enlightenment.